Gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to MGTOW Money. Today's topic, the universe doesn't give a flying F about you. Before we get to that, let me sincerely thank the ongoing support from the Patreon investors in this channel. Men, see the video description today. Become a Patreon supporter of this channel, a member of the MGTOW Money Army now. Let's get on to today's topic, the universe doesn't give a flying F about you. This comes straight from a book title. See the video description today to see the book. It's written by Johnny Truant. And by the way, the price of the book, it's $0. It's free, men. It doesn't cost you anything. You've got no excuses. It's just a short little book. He's got a couple of other free ones there. Another one is titled cleverly, You Are Dying and Your World is a Lie. So needless to say, I encourage you to pick up those books. See the video description today. We are going to be talking about disappointment, depression, feeling stuck, etc. today. I have 3 actionable techniques that might help many of you because I know this is a widely shared feeling among many men, in particular seemingly in the manosphere, but I would think in Western men in general. Before we get to that, let me provide some context, some historical background. And by the way, I'm going to include a link to a video that I did regarding my own background because I too have had plenty of episodes of disappointment, depression, etc. How about when I was in my late teens and I'm homeless? I've got no money. I didn't have a car. And I got a girl with. Yeah, that was bad times, man. Believe you me. How about, let me see here. How about the time that I was in my mid-20s and my ex-wife had just asked me to leave. Of course, I moved out. And a couple of months later, I get a call out of the blue from a mutual friend of ours informing me that, not only is your ex-wife divorcing you, of course, which I knew, but she's been cheating on you. And yeah, that doubled me over, literally and physically, as I fell onto the floor, and that's not a joke. Or how about the time I was about 30 or so, and I was trying to financially get myself out of my hole, etc., that I had dug myself in, and I lost tens of thousands of dollars in very, very poor investments. Or let me give you one last one. How about the time that I was passed over for promotion? I was passed over numerous times for promotions at various times. But anyway, I was passed over a promotion that I had been explicitly promised, and it was given to a woman for no objective reason other than the company was going to have layoffs. And of course, we couldn't lay off this existing person, not surprisingly because she's a woman. And okay, you're sorry, maybe next time you'll do better. So, how do you think I felt, men, about these examples? Of course, I was disappointed, I was depressed, unhappy, etc., and you can imagine I felt stuck. Now, all these things revolve around one of 3 ideas. One of 3 ideas being loss, less, or never. Loss, less, or never. In other words, I felt like I lost something. Or I felt like I was getting less than what I expected. Or this is never going to happen to me. In other words, my expectations, my hopes, my dreams, my wishes would have been explicitly told to me had not been met. Now, I'm going to provide to you right now 3 actionable techniques, if you will, hacks that will help you, that help me, that have helped millions through the ages when you're dealing with this, when you're moving through this, because you've got to know right up front, men. It goes without saying, every single man that's ever walked the face of the earth has dealt with this type of thing. 1, you're going to need to fundamentally reframe the situation when you're dealing with some sort of disappointment, depression, whatever. For example, one of the things that I used to emphasize to myself, and I still do to this day, is it's temporary, it's specific, it's not personal. It's temporary, it's specific, it's not personal. Man, if you're driving your car and you get stopped by a cop who gives you a ticket, man, that's temporary. It's not personal. And it's specific to that time and place that you're getting the ticket. In other words, don't fall into the trap of generalizing and thinking, this always happens to me. Another way of reframing, and I talked about this in the video that I did several months ago. Again, I'll include a link in the description where I talked about the Stoics. Whether it's the Stoics, whether it's the Buddhists, the idea being that everything that comes into your life, you're saying yes to. Literally, everything that comes into your life, you're just saying yes to. You're going to stop fighting things. You're going to accept the things that come into your life. You can, again, reframing the idea that the events are not happening to you. They're happening for you. Again, they're not happening to you. These bad things that happen to you, I didn't lose tens of thousands of dollars for no reason whatsoever. I actually learned something, and it's true. I did. One of the outstanding books about this type of idea, about reframing, etc., I'll include a link in the description, is by Viktor Frankl. And his experience, he was a psychotherapist who saw most of his family, including himself, spent years in a Nazi concentration camp. He came out arguably far stronger for the experience. Men, the bottom line is this: regardless of your circumstances, stop making up stories. Stick with the facts. Stick with the facts of exactly what you have. Generally speaking, things aren't as bad as you think they are. Number 2, the next idea you've got to do is you've got to move. I'm talking about physically moving your body. Whether you get off that couch or whether you need to start avoiding certain people, whether you need to change your residence, whether you need to do something differently and get yourself out of your physical environment, this is a very simple, easy thing you can do now, today, to get moving, to get unstuck, if you will. You gotta get your mind out of being focused on yourself. You gotta snap out of that hypnotic trance of being turned inwards and focus on all the bad things that are happening to you and focusing on those stories that I was just talking about. You need to get your thinking focused outwards for a while. You need to focus outside yourself for a while. And one of the best things that you can do, again, immediately, is get up off the couch. Whether that means walking around the block or ideally for the long term, I recommend is getting out of your environment. Change your residence. Move out of your city. I've done it. I guarantee you, in the long run, it works. 3, start yourself on a success loop. What I mean is, men, what can you do today, right now? Something small, something easy, something simple that you can do right now to start feeling better, to start feeling more positive, to start feeling like I've actually done something today, even though it's very small and tiny and basically inconsequential. I'll give you an example of something that I did 20 minutes ago. I cleaned up my coffee table and I cleaned up my desk. In other words, I straightened up a bunch of papers and magazines and crap on both of them. That was it. Yeah, it took me about, I'd say about a minute or so. Maybe it was a minute and a half because I got a lot of stuff on there. My point being is that I felt, yeah, okay, this is looking a little bit better. The point is, men, doing something very simple and easy that only took a couple of minutes can make a big difference as you're starting on that success loop and you're moving forward with your life. The same thing applies to, and I've discussed it in the past, regarding money. Start saving just a little bit of money, just putting a little bit away. I'm not talking about putting away tens of thousands of dollars a year. I'm talking about, can you put away $5 a month? $5 a month. Things are so easy today, men, relative to saving and investing money and buying assets. It's far easier today than ever has been in the past. I've mentioned in the past, I highly encourage you, use automated savings. Again, even just a few dollars, $5, $10 here and there, have the money automatically deducted out of your paycheck, even if it's just going into a bank account. The point being, men, is that you're getting on a success loop and you can start feeling good that you are moving forward. Let me finish by saying, men, I recognize it can be very, very difficult when you're dealing with serious issues, whether it be in your work life, whether it be in your family, etc. I know. I've been there. I've been so unbelievably down on myself and down with everything. And this is in spite of the fact that, frankly, I can remember at one point when I was working, needless to say, I was very, very low. Despite having tremendous, relatively speaking, assets, etc., I was still way, way down. I was in that deep, dark pit of blackness. I've been there, men. I know exactly how it feels. My point being, though, as Messenger Rising so very correctly said, you gotta man up. And if you use the techniques, use the specific ideas that I'm talking about here, you can get through this. Men, as always, if you found this useful, hit the like button. As always, John Galt out.